Welcome everyone to Straight from the Paws. If you didn't notice, we're actually back in the studio for the first time since COVID. And today with me, I have a fellow board member, my dearest friend, and a wonderful person who's in charge of a lot of things at the shelter because I like giving out titles. This is Denise DeVillas-Lopes. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
Aren't you glad I invited you over?
Oh, I'm thrilled.
I know you are.
Yes.
So Denise has been on the board with us for several years now, and she is our, let me get this straight, foster coordinator.
Correct.
And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. And you're also our membership coordinator.
Correct.
I gave you that title.
Yes.
And I also, I won't use the word suckered in, but basically I did, ask Denise to join us on the advocacy group for BCC, the Vet Tech program.
Correct.
And she's been a member for several years now.
Yes.
So I like to bring my friends along and have fun, have fun with me.
And we are having fun.
We are having fun. We are having a great time. Do you know how many years you've been at the shelter now?
6 years.
6 years. And Denise did a great job. She also volunteered on Wednesdays and Saturdays to come into the shelter and be our clerk until we finally hired someone.
Correct.
But now she still comes in because we still have a lot of work to do, right?
Right.
So thanks to Ariana, our wonderful director, in 2022, we had over 1,500 animals come to the shelter.
That's right.
And that has really brought up your numbers in fosters, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about shelter, you know, what the shelter does with the fosters and how that works.
Oh, okay. So the foster program was started about 4 years ago. And what is required for an animal to be in foster is multifold. They have to be, number one, they could be a bunch of feral kittens or a dog that needs socializing in order for them to be adoptable. One of the other reasons that we would put an animal in foster is because they would need specific medication. As you probably know, we close our shelter at 4:30, but if an animal needs round the clock medication administration, that's impossible for us. So we do find families who are willing, whether it be just eye drops or a wound care or insulin. Believe it or not, we have a lot of people who are experienced with their own animals in administering insulin. Some of the other reasons would be that a batch of kittens are too tiny. The shelter is not the quietest place.
Yes, that's very true.
For littles to be in the shelter. So in order to have a calmer environment, we try to find families that have an extra room where a mom and her kittens can be isolated, or if there is no mom, we try to find those fosters that are able to bottle feed. And bottle feeding is sometimes an issue. It's every 2 hours, it's like having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have that done at my home several times already. And
Gail and Bev are very good at taking in special animals.
Yes, we do the specials.
Yeah. Lately we've had more of a need for bottle feeding families. And that's something that we're addressing right now. We just had a discussion about that. And one of the other, probably the last reason that we would need a foster is because of an animal, usually a dog, who has very high anxiety. They have to learn how to trust. Many times we don't know what the background is of the animal, if they say were a stray, or even if they were surrendered and we don't get a fully comprehensive background on the animal. So the foster program can go from a commitment of 2 weeks to 8 weeks or even up to 12 weeks.
Yes, and getting back to what you're saying about bottle feeding, what our idea is, her idea, which is a great idea, is we'd like to start a program to teach maybe some people that are willing to foster, but say, I don't know how to do bottle feeding. Have them come in and do a little presentation for them, a little class for them how to bottle feed. So if you're interested in it and thinking, well, I'd like to try that, we're going to put something together in the near distant future to do that.
Right.
And the other thing too is the animals that are high stress. I mean, if you remember Rudy got adopted. I think we had Rudy 8 or 9 months. Rudy was very high stress. Rudy did not like me, was not happy to see me. You know, when I walked into the room with my little Lola and I had to sit in sometimes in another rooms because Rudy wasn't very happy. But I will probably say, you know, between Betty, who took her, she had no one living with her. When we were away or something, she would share Rudy back and forth, and just so Rudy could get acclimated. And it was very tough. But I'll never forget the day that after about a year, Rudy got adopted. Well, she was with us 9 months, and then she got adopted, and she was living with this other woman. And the woman came to visit Bev at the shelter, and she was sitting outside with Rudy because she didn't want to. Rudy didn't still interact well with other animals. She walked. You know, she said to me, oh, I was walking outside. I said, oh, hi. And I said, Rudy's here. And I walked over and I said, hi, Rudy. And Rudy kind of looked at me and said, not today. And I said, okay. So I walked away. I said, I'll tell Bev. Well, I had Bev come out, and Rudy saw her at a distance, heard her voice, and all of a sudden that dog just let go and ran to Bev, jumped into her arms, and just put her neck onto Bev and was like just hugging and kissing her. And it brought tears to my eyes, and even her owner was like, said, Tracy, her name is, she said, I can't believe, you know, she said she still remembers Bev. And I said, yeah, and she remembers me too, at a distance. But Bev said, come on. I said, okay. I went over, and she did let me pet her when she was in Bev's arms. So, I mean, the satisfaction you get when you see an animal, like especially like a special case like Rudy, it's just incredible. I mean, if you love animals, then that just makes your day, makes your year, you know. And right now, as you know, you just saw in my house, we have 5 kittens. And they'll be going back to the shelter next week. We're working to socialize them. So our granddaughter gets into the play pen with them, and she plays with them. We did lose one last week, and we have a rather huge house, and it was a little scary. I had to get on my hands and knees and go over 13 rooms, and the little bugger was caught between the TV and a little wood stove that we had there. And how we found her, or him, I think it's a him, because when Bev went to feed him, she said, they'll come around. All the cats went before they went to the food, and they're looking outside on one side, and they're ignoring the food. And Bev looks over and she whispers to me, she said, Gail, the cat's over here. She said, I'll guide it on this side. I said, okay. So I went around quietly and was able to get the cat and put him back inside. It's scary sometimes, you know, you don't want to lose a cat. I mean, eventually you'll find them, but it's like we had the door open to the dining room, the door open to the library, and he could have scattered everywhere in the house. So every room I went into and I could close the door, I closed the door. So anyway, it's worthwhile, it's exciting. Every 2 hours is a little difficult sometimes, but it's nice when they survive, you know.
And if anybody is concerned that by fostering they're never going to want to give up the animal, well, it happens all the time.
It does, yeah, you're right.
All the time, and we fondly call those foster failures.
Yes, that's true. I haven't been a foster failure in a long time, and that's good. That's a good thing. And the other thing too, the supplies and everything, medical and all that. The shelter supplies everything. Everything from bins and kitty litter and food and supplements. Anything at all. You are not responsible financially for anything when it comes to the care of the animal. Now, let me ask you a question that I'm not even clear on myself. Like when they have to come in, I know sometimes they bring them in to see the vet at the shelter if they need to be checked out. But if they have to go to a vet, does the shelter, they bring them back to the shelter and we bring them? Or can the foster parent, if they want to bring them?
That's an agreement between the shelter and the foster. The only time that we would ever allow them to bring them to a vet on their own would be in an emergency situation. And we would like to be contacted when that's going to happen.
Usually, if it's the Rhode Island
Mass RI.
Mass RI, what happens is they call Bev, because Bev's our treasurer, and they have to get approval for her to see the animal. And then they'll call back and forth throughout the night and say, well, we need to do this and that, and she makes the decisions on the phone. So, you know, she will call Ari and say, well, this is what they want to do. And, you know, this shelter job it's 24/7.
Yep.
You know, people, you know, Ariana, yeah, you know, people say, oh, she leaves at 4:30. Yeah, no, she doesn't. We're on the phone sometimes at night, whatever it may be, and she's always available. And same thing with Bev and I. It's 24/7.
That's right.
You know, and but that's what it has to be to keep it functioning the way it's going.
Right, and I'm the contact, say, in the middle of the night, if they have any questions, so they can, everybody gets my cell phone number.
Nice.
So there's no concern, oh, the shelter is closed. No, that's not an issue. You can always call me.
And remember, folks, and I've said this before, she and I and everybody else on the board of directors are volunteers. And we're available, most of us, some of us, Bev, you, myself, Joyce is the volunteer coordinator, takes phone calls at night. People call at crazy hours and early in the morning.
Right.
But basically, the three of us, we're involved 24/7. So that tells you how dedicated we are to the shelter. And having said that, I mentioned that she is our membership coordinator, and Denise is going to tell you a little bit about our membership drive, which is going to be starting in June.
So it seems amazing that we're on year 5.
Wow, already?
Yeah, we're on our 5th
Wow.
year of membership. It comes with benefits. For a $25 membership fee, you are entitled to 10% off our annual event, which is held in September. You also get this wonderful decal for your car, which I see all over the place.
Me too. I get so excited when I see them.
I know.
I get so excited when I see one on a car.
Yeah, and you get a membership card and a thank you note from our president. So it has grown over the years. I believe the first year that we started the membership, we had 120 members, and now we're up to over 400.
Wonderful. So
Yeah.
a quick, to show you how busy the shelter is, we had decided, and what we've been doing is we send it out to our local 027 zip code and the 028.
028.
So we thought, oh, that's not going to be bad, and we do our own mailing. We don't do it professionally. We get the envelopes and we do us, pack. We get all our friends on the board to come over and to come to my house, and we have a room that we go in 2 different rooms and we do the mailing. So I said to Ariana, I said, I need, we are working on it. I'm working. I said, okay, we need all the labels. And I said, this is the zip codes. She called me back and she said, you really want all of them? And I said, yeah, I do. And she said, yeah, that's 10,000. And I went, what? She goes, it's over 10,000. I'm like, no, that's impossible. She's like, yes, it is 10,000. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. So what we did was we decided to take the current membership, and we're going to send you an email blast. Everybody else will go on an email blast. Everything's becoming everything on computers, and we got to get up there and with it. So we have Constant Connect, I think it's called, and Ariana will be sending an email blast out. So if you want to be on our emailing list and you're not already, please email at asilva, S-I-L-V-A, at foreverpaws.com. That's Ariana's personal email at the shelter, and she will add you to the mailing list. And mailing list and email list, list. And if you want to be on our mailing list, give us your address as well. And we have grown. It really has grown. The number of members and stuff has grown, and I'm very pleased with what's going on. I think the membership has grown a lot, and so it's been 5 years. So let's get it up to 500 at least for this 5th
Yes.
year. Let's go for 500.
Now the letters are ready to go out probably next week, and in that letter we have asterisk, please add email.
Right.
Because I think eventually we would like to cut down on the amount of manual mailing that we're doing, because it's very time intensive, and I think the email is probably as efficient as a mailing would be.
Because most people see their email on their computer, or they see it on their phone, or they see it on their watch if
That's
they have
right.
an Apple Watch
That's
or
right.
whatever. And then they can immediately respond and say, okay, I can take care of this. Where you get it in the mail, sometimes we mail it takes 5 or 6 days, and as we all know, we do it bulk mail, but it's still very expensive.
That's right.
And then if you cut the cost of the envelopes and you cut the cost of the little envelope inside, you're saving us some money. So,
And the printer.
and the printer. I mean,
sure.
it's everything. So if you could do that, we greatly appreciate that as well. We're trying to get more modernized, I guess it's called, in our society, and a little behind the eight ball here, but we're doing the best that we can.
And you can pay by PayPal.
Yep.
I'm not quite sure if Venmo is.
Sure.
Yeah, Venmo. You can pay with a check through the mail, or you can pay with a credit card, or you can just call us, give us a credit card, and we'll take care of that for you.
Is there a fee when you use the credit card, though? I think the shelter charges a couple of dollars for fee, because that's what we get charged with the credit card company.
I know that we do for adoptions.
I don't know if it's for everything. I don't know.
I don't think we have done that for
Okay.
because there aren't that many.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not, that's the treasurer, not me. I do other things. I just know those things happen, but that's the way it goes. So, folks, last month we talked about, we had some fundraisers going on, and we had, what was the last one we did?
The breakfast?
No, the breakfast. We did the breakfast, which is New Bedford. We're trying to get more people from New Bedford, since we take in New Bedford animals, to come to our event. So we're trying to spread out to a little bit of things in New Bedford. We're working on that, and it was very well. It was successful. We had about 50 people there, and we did, we did okay. I said numerous times I don't want to do these little small fundraisers, but unfortunately, after COVID, we have to. We do. We've been in our building for 26 years now. No, excuse me, that's exaggeration. Going to be 20 years. It's in 20 years. In December 29th, it'll be 20 years.
In the building?
In the building. But we're in existence for 26 years. Right. So you look at that and you say, okay, so right now, Bev and I were able to secure 2 grants, which we're very pleased about, to help us fix all the cages and everything. And the kennels. There was in dire need of it. We were actually not able to utilize all the kennels because some of the dogs were getting out. The stress fractures on them. It was pretty bad. So we were very fortunate. It'll most likely cover the cost of everything, and very pleased with that. So we got to get the job done, and then we get the checks. So one part is done, and I'll get one check, and then we'll finish the rest of it, and hopefully by the fall, and we'll get the money. So, but right now we're putting out the money ahead of time. So, we're working. We always select local people to help us out, and it's working very, very well for us. But again, a lot of things have to be fixed. A lot of things have to be done in the shelter. So my segue is the next thing we're doing is we just had Mike Mioza's former city councilor, did a fabulous job. It's a mind madness or something, I don't know, mentalist, I don't know what he called himself, but
mentalist,
it's a mentalist, and the show he did was phenomenal, it really was. And then Frank Santos Jr. came in, and he did that hypnotist show, and it was wonderful too. So all in all, we had a great night. The Liberal Club was very good to us. So that was great, and that we earned a little bit of money there. So our next event, which is going to be in June, is going to be June 15th. It's called, I love the name of it, it's called the Yappy Hour and Cat Tails. You get it? Yappy for the dogs and cat tails for the cats. And it's going to be at McGovern's Restaurant. It's going to be a short amount of time. It's 6 to 9. The tickets are going to be $50, and we're going to have a DJ. It's what we're going to call, it's a party, PAWTY, party, and that's what we're going to do. It's no speeches from me, no nothing, just greeting people asking us that work at the shelter, volunteer, what's going on at the shelter, what's happening, and we're going to have a party. And we're just going to enjoy it. There's going to be 6 different food stations. We are going to have 10 baskets, themed baskets. One of them, I know because I'm doing it with Bev. We're doing Viva Floriva. We're doing a lottery basket. I don't know if it's a basket or a wreath, but we're doing one of those. We're getting Jeff Leary from WSAR is giving us a liquor basket from Somerset Liquor. We have a garden party with, I was told it's going to have garden stuff, but also liquor in it, and some really good themed baskets. And we're going to be, raffling them off. Probably just, put your ticket in and get that done. And that's all we're doing. It's just going to be a lot of fun. McGovern was very nice to host this for us, and we're very pleased to be getting back into the city again. We haven't gone to McGovern's in a long time, so we're very pleased to do that. And then tickets are going very quick. Oh, if you want tickets for that, they're going to be coming on sale, but you can call 508-678-0804, and you can call and you can ask about the tickets. That's my office number at home. So that alleviates the shelter from having to, because that phone is, we have like three lines, and it's constantly ringing. That's why most of the clerks go back and they volunteer the same day they did. Like Denise, Bev goes on Monday, Denise goes Wednesday, Friday sometimes. I mean Saturday, excuse me. And then Diane goes on Tuesdays. We really try to keep them in there because the phone's constantly ringing. I mean, we're very, very busy, and we're pleased about that. So we're very happy about that. Last what we're doing is in June 22nd, I think it is.
Right.
I think that's the day, or the rain date, the 27th and the 28th. We're going to do the alpaca yoga. And believe it or not, we have space for 50 people. And as of Monday morning, we had 35, I think, people registered.
That's great.
So we had to have a minimum of 20, so we've exceeded the minimum of 20, and we're ready to go on. You know, I personally am not going to participate, but I am going to help out. But I've seen it a few times.
I'll do that too. I'll help out.
You'll help out?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. People really, really enjoy it.
Yeah, they do.
And we're doing it once this year, and hopefully we'll get it maybe back in the fall a little bit before the weather changes, and do that. And then, of course, we are going to have the 22nd is, I know what it is, it's our annual clam boil, which we're now having at the Elks Club. They're very good to us as well. And if you haven't had a clam boil at the Elks Club, you're missing out. It's enjoyable.
Delicious.
It's really, really good. I think the tickets for that are $30, and it'll be the same number you can call. And we won't even do that one on Eventbrite because between them and us, we sell out pretty fast. So that's another great event. So you can see we're keeping really, really busy at the shelter, and we are now getting out there. People are asking us to come out and participate in different events. So Ariana and I did a career day at Durfee High School in May, and Bev and I are going to do a volunteer one in the end of May, and we go to Durfee High School again, and we are invited to the 20th of May. Viva Fall River are going to have, they call it a pop-up tent, I guess a pop-up, and they have it right in their store, and it's a National Rescue Day. I think they said Rescue Day.
National Rescue.
National Rescue Day. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I.
No.
Because I think there's every day for something. There's pickle day, there's, whatever, eggs day, there's a day for everything, so there is. So we got to get a little bit more involved with this shelter, but, everybody needs to know. So Diane, our volunteer coordinator, our outreach coordinator, will be there with them, and she'll have some flyers and stuff like that to go on, and it's going really, really well. So as you can see, as Denise knows and can attest to, we are busy.
Very busy.
We're extremely, extremely busy.
And we hope to see, people come out and support us, because it's not about us, it's all about the animals.
It is about the animals. And, when I tell you, and I'm not exaggerating because we have proof in our shelter manager program, 1,500 animals last year.
Yes.
That is incredible. I've never had that in volume before. And that doesn't mean they were all adopted through us, but they were rescued. They've maybe gone to other rescues. They were surrendered. They were found.
And reclaimed.
The reclaims were up there.
Yep.
I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, the work that we do is just incredible. And I give a shout out to the staff. We now have a clerk that we put her on full time because she's helping us with our flyers and things. So we've given her more hours to work full time, so she's there. We have an office manager that works basically with Bev to do the treasury work and the billing and things like that. And then we have an administrative assistant now who's hired full time, who is helping Ariana do her job, because Ariana likes to help with the fundraising, but when she's got all these animals to work on. So Chantel is taking over the claims and doing some other things that's also needed at the shelter is important. So, when you look at it all, you think about it, it's a lot of work, and it's a small building. And I will tell you that we are staying closed. People ask me about the door. We are not opening the door. It's going to be on an appointment basis. We find this to be more soothing for the animals. There's not so many people walking in and walking around. Several years ago, not recently, but about 8 years ago, we had a kitten that was stolen, And then you have people that they think their dog is there, and they want to see the dog, and no one's allowed in the bee kennel, and they try to get in, and it's bad. It's bad. So for the safety for the animals, safety for the staff, and safety for just the people adopting too. They get more one-on-one attention. They get, get to ask a lot of questions. I just saw a review on Google. Someone did it, I guess, adopted in 2019, and was saying what a great thing. And she said she thought the person was Joy, but I think it was Joyce that was helping her select a cat. She said she was so happy. She took the time to show her, and she said she picked the perfect cat for me. She was absolutely, it's a love, and she loves the animals. She highly recommends people to come to our shelter. And that's what it's all about.
Well, and the shelter is so busy anyway.
Right.
So when you have the doors open and you have the entrance, the foyer of the shelter full of people, it just becomes chaotic.
It does.
It becomes chaotic, and so the appointments have worked so much better. Most people are very understanding of it. If they knock on the door, they don't have an appointment, we'll say, well, we do have a 2:30 open. They give their name and they'll come back.
And sometimes, if there's, because they usually schedule 2 or 3 at a time.
Right.
They'll say, well, we'll go check the book, and we'll say, oh, we have an opening. And we'll let them come in. It's not like we're going to throw you out and we're going to just sit around and, is that my...
Do nothing.
Do nothing.
That's
My
right.
typical thing is eat bonbons. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I was always told
an old
at
school
work.
thing.
Oh, you're eating bonbons and doing nothing, Gail. I said, yeah, okay. So, yeah, and people come in and they really, and they understand. You're
They
right.
do.
And some people just take the application and fill it out in their car, and that's fine. We look it over. Okay, you missed this, fill it in. They come back. They're very happy, and they're very pleased because they get to come and see the animals. So the other thing is, please look at our Facebook. There is a confusion about our Facebook. We have tried with Facebook. There's like 2 or 3 Facebook sites for Forever Paws.
Yeah.
What they do is, if you get to a certain number, they kind of divide you and they put you in 2 different groups. And then there's a third one, which we don't know who started. We have tried for 2 years to get out of it, and there's nothing more we can do. Our hands are tied, so just try to look around and find it. The next big project I'm going to try to start working on is our website. That keeps getting pushed back to the back burner because it's not as prevalent as our Facebook and our Instagram. Bev is doing Instagram. She's even got Twitter back up again. I forgot how many. I think she said she's got like 700 now on Twitter, where we didn't have that many before. So social media is out there, and we're working the social media. You have anything else you want to add? Because we're almost closing the segment.
No, I think we're good.
I think we did a good job. I just want to thank everyone out there. Keep the animals, safe. And if you can't keep your animal, call the shelter. We may have a list. We'll take them back in. We'll do what we can to help you. And again, we appreciate all the donations. Amazon isn't doing Amazon Smile anymore, but we do have an updated wish list, and we get a lot of donations. And believe me, we appreciate the donations.
Yeah.
We don't always get back to everybody that we can, because if it comes through Amazon, we don't get your name and address. But believe me, we appreciate everyone that donates to us. And some people drop it off. That's appreciated too. So I want to thank everyone out there in our audience. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day and stay safe.